Well, with the new year approaching very quickly, I wanted to share a couple of journals that I'm going to be working in next year. And a few had asked me to show what it was exactly that I was going to be working on, so that maybe as our Facebook group we could maybe do some of these together. I have a variety of ones that I want to do. I'm not sure what I'm going to accomplish and what I'm not. So I'm going to share with you my good intentions and then see if any of you want to join me on the journey with these particular journals. One that I made a couple of weeks ago is because some of you know I'm moving from one area where I do my art to a different area. So I've been going through a lot of my stuff and finding things that I really just don't use. It's just sitting there. And some of that is my scrapbook paper. I have a variety. Some of them I've gotten them at garage sales. Others people have given me. But obviously there's these ones that I just never use. They're just sitting there and sitting there. So what I did is I decided to cut them up and just randomly I put them together to create this journal. And so, oops, glue. So all this is just scrapbook paper put in here, and this is one of the journals I'm going to be working with. Not sure yet exactly what this particular journal will be, but it's ready, and between now and the first of the year I'll have a better idea of what I'm going to do with this particular one. But I just thought I'd share that idea with you. I'm sure we've all got scrapbook paper that just sits there and we don't use it. So putting it up in the form of a journal that you can either write on, paint over, use as a glue book and glue things over, whatever you decide to do, there's an option. So let's see, the size that I ended up doing these, it's 6 by 8. So the part that I cut off was, you know, the almost 4 inches. It was 4 inches. And so I made a smaller version of the top because I took they're 12 by 12, folded in half, and then cut that part off. So now I have a smaller version of the same thing with the same papers that I can use in whatever form I decide to. Another thing I want to do is I want to finish up my Mama Zuma's Trashy journal. I've got quite a bit done on here. I'm pretty much using this as a glue book. I just find things that I like and I glue them there. Some of the stuff is my own art that I've done and I just glue it in. And other stuff I'm just gluing. So it's about 75% done. And my goal is to, you know, get this one done. That's my other goal. This I made about a year ago and just have not really worked on it. It's a really what do you call it? It's very thick. It's kind of cumbersome actually, but it's really thick. I made it out of the top cover of the scrapbook papers. You have this little, it's like cardboard, but it's thinner cardboard. So that's what I did with the cover, and then I just put a bunch of napkins over it, and then I put some of my amber varnish, and it made it kind of crunchy. But anyway, so that's that. And then inside, I've just done a little bit in here. It's all watercolor paper, but I'll use it for, you know, whatever I decide to do. But I've only done a couple of pages and haven't really done all that much at all, actually, maybe 2 or 3 pages. But I look forward to working in this one. What I did with this is the spine is actually here and here, and these can, you know, open either way. So I just thought that was just just to make it different, you know, and, oops, and that's that. So I hope to be working on this in the coming year. Also, those of you that have been with me for a while, about a year ago, I told you guys about making this journal that was, the theme was music. In whatever form, you know, you decided to do it, whether it was your favorite songs, your favorite lyrics, your favorite artists, whatever. But I had found this at a used secondhand store and bought this, and I just liked the colors, so I wasn't really going to change the front. But what I had thought that we would do, and I really, really want to work on this year, is to do some, this one of course has these kinds of sleeves. You could go ahead and, if you couldn't find something like this, if you found just the jackets of old records, or you know, even the ones for 45s, I found some of these, so I've got some of those. And then when Hastings was, the bookstore was going out of business, they were selling their used albums. I forgot what I ended up getting, like 20 cents or something like that. So I have quite a few of those. And but what I did with this particular one, I cut some watercolor paper and put it in here so that I can decorate the outside, do some kind of drawing or something to stick it in. I think I'm going to maybe cut it the size of a record and put that back in. And then these were just scraps that were left over, so I just temporarily put those there. Not sure exactly what I'm doing with this one either, but I do know the theme. I know it's going to be music, and so maybe some of you would like to do something like that with me. So that is yet another option. Now I'm sharing all this with you just in case you want to do it with me. You can start collecting, you know, your stuff for it, whether it's the glue book, or if you want to use the scrapbook paper. I'm just kind of giving you a heads up of what I'm going to be doing, so you might want to start collecting. And if you're interested in doing this music journal, then you can start looking for stuff for that too. Alrighty. Now, another thing I want to do, I was watching Dee Dee Willingham, and she was talking about, she calls it reverse collage. And what she does, which I want to dedicate a book to that, is she finds a book with pictures that she really likes. Now, I like travel and I like unusual furniture. So I have two different books. I'm not sure which one I'll use yet. But her concept concerning the reverse collage is, normally what you would do is you'd have a blank page like this, and you would paint or do whatever, and then you would cut out something from a catalog and glue it on there, and that would be your collage. Her concept is that you find the picture in its original context. Let me find, okay, like this. Let's just say this. I go, oh, I like this. I think I'll cut this out and glue it. Her concept is you would come in and paint everything else that you really didn't want from that picture. And then from there you build upon that negative space that you've created. Again, you could paint, you can write, you can add collage to it, but your background is whatever it was that, if you did the other kind of collage, you'd be cutting it out and gluing it on something else. So it makes sense. Instead of cutting it out and gluing it again, leave it where it is. Cover up everything you don't like with whatever you want. Paint, she does it with paint, and then she builds up upon that. So I want to do a book based on that principle. And so if you want to do something that type of reverse collage, then you might want to be looking through your books that you really like, that have a lot of pictures that you like, but just haven't used them yet. And this would be the best, that I think is the best way you can make use of the pictures that you like in the book. Instead of tearing them out, you're just going to do the reverse collage. And I have another book that I was thinking of using because I love the colors and the shapes, and it has to do with upholstery, and I love that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure if it's going to be this book or this book, but definitely I'm going to be doing the reverse collage. I encourage you to do that. It's pretty interesting. Okay, now, I know I have more. I'm almost done. Also, I think this was, no, this, I think this was at Hayes. I can't remember now. But I got this at a bookstore, and they were closing them out because obviously the end of the year. And this is leather bound, and the pages are kind of thin. Anything I would do on it, you know, would bleed through. But what I decided to do with this book, this journal, is on all the pages I'm going to glue down napkins. And the napkins are going to be my background that I'm going to build upon. So the napkins are helping to thicken the pages, and then they're also ready-made backgrounds. I've done a few just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Here's one napkin that I just glued down, and here's another one. Now I've been using scraps. This isn't just one. You know, there's several that got glued down, and here's another one. And here's another one that I did. That's all I've done so far. I just did it just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. And then from here, you've got your ready-made background. You know, usually it's really hard to start with a blank page to do whatever kind of journaling you want to do. This way, you don't have a blank page. It's very colorful, and you already have your starting point. So what I want to do is maybe fill up half of this with the napkins already, and that way I don't have to go in order. I'll just like go through it and say, oh, I like this, and start on that particular one. So that's another idea that you might want to consider, because I know we all have our napkins, and we hoard our napkins, but this way we can use them. Let's face it, you know, you've got quite a few of the same ones, so it's not going to hurt to get your favorite ones and glue them down into a journal. And of course, you can glue this down onto anything. If you have a book, the written word, because you know, some of the text comes through. You can see some of the lines depending on how light the napkins are, but the real busy ones, nothing comes through. So you could put it, you know, really basically do this on any kind of a book that you have. I'm just using this particular one because they were so thin, and I wasn't really sure how I was going to use it, and this will be perfect for that. Alrighty. Now, my last one, is, well, first, excuse me, let me backtrack. I posed a question in the Trashy Journal group about what kind of journaling you like to do. And the #1 response was all-in-one type of journaling. You like to do everything in your journaling. You like to draw in it. You like to glue in it. You like to collage in it. You like to do all of it. So I was thinking, what could we, you know, what could we do as a group, and to do this all-in-one kind of journal. So I came up with this idea, and I got a composition book, and I gave this particular journal, because we are the Trashy Junk Journal group, right? I gave it the name of the Compost Files. Now, the reason I did the compost files is because, of course, trash, we're trying to recycle everything. And when I was young, my grandparents always had this compost pile. And she had chicken wire in a circle. And my job was to go out there and throw everything that had anything to do that would compost from the kitchen or from the yard. And that's what we did. And then, of course, what would happen is in the spring we had this beautiful soil, and we would grow all kinds of things, flowers, vegetables, everything. And the soil was beautiful, and then it created obviously these beautiful plants. So the fact that we are trashy and we're going to throw all kinds of stuff into this journal, that's all I could think of was a compost file. So I made this kind of up, and I got some chicken wire to go on the front, and this is going to be my all-in-one journal, and I'm going to call it the compost files. Now, if anybody else wants to do the compost files with me, in the group I'm going to put a file that will have this cover, and then all you have to do is print it out and put it on your composition book. And then in the back, I just put some papers with colors and a little bit more of the chicken wire. So, these are the things I'm going to attempt to do. And because I'm not the type that journals every day, but I do some form of art every day, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes. So I figured between all these types of journals that I'm interested in doing, I would be able to do a little something in one. And it doesn't have to be a full page. It can just be adding something to one of the pages. And I think it'll be fun because I'm the type that gets bored. If I just had one journal, I would get bored. This way I can hop around, do my compost file one, I can play around with my napkin one, I can move on and do something with my music one, and then I can do my reverse collage one, then I can do my watercolor one, I can finish up my Mama Zuma, and then of course we have all of these papers, scrapbook papers that we need to get rid of. So I'm putting it out there that these are the things that I'm going to try to start in the new year. So if anybody wants to join me, then you can start collecting the things with whichever type of journal you find interesting, and you can join, and we can share pictures of what we're doing or videos to encourage one another, because I know you all really enjoy seeing each other's videos and what you've accomplished, because it's very inspirational. So let me know which ones you like and which ones you'd like to join, and start collecting all your stuff so we can have some fun together. All right, hope I've inspired you one way or another.